Life insurance.
Life insurance, just like a retirement plan, life insurance is very important. You just never know when that day might come, right? You could be driving on the freeway, someone hits you, God forbid that any of this ever happens to anyone, but it's a possibility. So having life insurance is very important. Life insurance is a safety net for your beneficiaries, which is where you can have a life insurance policy for 500K, $1,000, $1 million, just depends on your salary at the time and whatever your arrangements are with that company. You pay a monthly on it, and then also if you pass away, that money goes to the specific person that you have set aside that money for. So it's very important to get a life insurance policy because you just never know when that day will happen.
Yeah, man, and it's typically it's pretty easy to get. I mean, if you have full-time employment, it's highly likely your benefits package offers a plan. I say take that because that's usually cheaper than what you'll find independently. But if you're self-employed or not full-time or your job doesn't offer it, I would say first thing to go to is try your auto insurance company. Mm-hmm. They might give you a multi-line discount since you have auto and that, or your homeowner's insurance. They offer that as well, likely. And yeah, man, and what I always say is get term life, never get whole life.
Okay.
Because whole life is usually about 7 times the cost of term life or more. And you'll never get that value out of that, man. Just get term life, 30 years, 15 years, depending on what you got going on. And just pay that monthly, and you don't need a cash value plan because you just don't need that. I understand, you're giving the money away every month, but you'll always make a gain on that money. If you're paying $20 a month for 30 years and you come away with $500K, I mean, that sounds like a win to me.
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. On top of that is like, okay, think about it like this. When you take on a dependent or if you take on, if you have a marriage or you're getting married, you should definitely want to have a life insurance policy because the persons that you bring into the world or a person that you brought into your life is going to expect or want to maintain the lifestyle that you currently have provided for that person. So it only makes sense to get a life insurance policy because, just things happen. You just never know. And you want to make sure your kids are taken care of or family members might be sick. And you also don't want to be a burden on your family as well. So just keeping that lifestyle maintained after you pass financially, maybe not, emotionally, but definitely on the financial realm.
But what if somebody says, hey, I got a savings account, they can use that?
Yeah, but if you're paying $20 to $40 a month and you end up, like you said, with $500K if you pass away, I mean, why not have that extra safety net on top of the savings that you have? I mean, it's only to keep the lifestyle going and maintain that financial security for the people that you love. So the process is weird. I use Policy Genius. I had to fill out an application. They checked my health. I had to send health records. And then once they review that, they reach out to you. And they ask you, do you want 15 year? You want 30? I got the 15. I'm betting on my health, hoping that nothing happens. But anyway, it came out to be, $21.50. I won't discuss the number that I got, but anyway. And then they set up an appointment with you. Somebody comes and they draw your blood. It's kind of awkward a little bit. You take your blood pressure, you do your weight, and then they ask you a few questions.
Your height as well.
Mm. And they ask you a few questions about, your family members and things of that nature. And they take the sample back to the lab. If you don't have any drugs, you're clear. If you don't have any other issues and like diseases or whatever, you're also clear. And then they approve you and then you start paying on it monthly, and that's how it goes. But once you get past that initial checkup, it is an in-person checkup, and they do stick a needle in your arm.
And I mean, this is how I look at it too, man. I mean, if you're saying you want a Birkin bag but you don't have life insurance, I mean, that's goofy, dude. Like, just get life insurance. Take care of your loved ones. Don't be a burden in your death. Because at the end of the day, I mean, life insurance, you pay for it, everybody can be taken care of. Let's say you own a house. The house isn't paid off. So your family inherits the house, but now they got to pay that mortgage and those taxes.
Right.
Maybe that life insurance will help for them to pay for that. So that house can remain in the family and pass on over time. I mean, you know, in some ways with life insurance, it definitely could be a blessing. It could get your family out of a tough situation. But what you don't want to do is make a tough situation even worse.
That's right. I mean, you also could have a situation where you have a stay-at-home parent.
Yep.
And maybe they don't work from home, and they're taking care of the kids, and you're the sole provider, and you pass away, and you pass down, you know, like you said, the mortgage, you pass down some debts.
Yep.
How are they going to be able to take care of that if you don't have a life insurance policy? And they've been out of the workforce for 5 to 10 years or so.
I just think a lot of it is a lot of people just don't feel their mortality. Well, some people think they're going to live forever.
You're not invincible.
As we saw with the pandemic, I mean, that's just not the case. And
Right.
I hope all these people, you know, these millions of Americans, or is it millions or is it a couple 100,000 that have passed from the pandemic? I think it's a couple 100,000.
Yeah, it's a couple 100,000.
Yeah, I hope they all had life insurance, you know, so their families could be taken care of. Because you see Congress is trying to pass laws that do liability protection. So if somebody was reckless and gave you or your family member the illness and you pass, you can't even sue. So get some life insurance.
That's right. So Chris, what about the single guy, single woman that's out there, no dependents? What about them? Should they get life insurance?
Yes. I mean, you still have a family, you have parents, I'm sure.
Right.
So get it for them. So when you have your funeral, they don't have to worry about can they afford a headstone or the space or any of that. Just it's already there, and then, you know, money can't replace you, but at least it does something.
Yes, that's true. I mean, like I said, it's more about the financial comfort. Knowing that you're gone is probably going to be more of an emotional burden, but you don't want to be a financial burden after you leave. So life insurance is definitely important, especially after the pandemic. Especially, you know, driving every single day, you could pass away. Being on an airplane, you could pass away. Things happen, man. So bombs happen, you know, things like that. So.
No, it's definitely dangerous out here. Moral of the story is on everybody be safe. Get your life insurance. Take care of yourself. Take care of your health. Live as long as possible, but of course, plan for the worst.
Right, and you recommend term life, 30-year, and start now. It doesn't matter how old you are. The older you wait, the more you have to pay.
Yep.
So definitely start right now.
And it's still, even if you were 50-something years old, it's worth it. Whatever it costs is worth it.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. That's my opinion, man.